Good Friday to everybody. Thanks for clicking on to today's European Outlook. We continue with this high pressure dominance at the moment, but we are starting to see subtle changes taking place as we progress through over the last 24 hours. We've been seeing weather moving into Iberia, bringing some heavy rain, gusty winds, lots of lightning. We'll look at that in just a second. We've also got the system into the Balkans, Turkey also, and it's these two areas that are kind of the lightning hotspots across Europe at this hour. But that moisture from that system near Iberia is drifting a little bit further northwards. But also we've got the warmest air of the week of the year so far, I think, as well, across parts of South Wales and southwestern England. If we look at the UK specifically, we've got Har and Fret hugging the coast of anywhere from North Yorkshire all the way up into the east central belt. Also had some cloud cover up here at Marfogan Weather HQ this afternoon. Some high level cloud and possible some Har getting driven in because we've got winds coming in from a more east-northeasterly direction, which is bringing a reasonable drop in the temperature compared to the past couple of days. We only got to 15 yesterday after seeing back-to-back days of between 19 and 20 Celsius. And then obviously we cooled to close to, if not slightly below the freezing mark during the overnight period. Obviously up in Altahara, we've seen that near 25 Celsius swing. Now, Highland Weather did actually, Lee, had Highland Weather, I forgot his name there for a second, had sent me a message last night to say that there was a temperature swing in the Cairngorms of between -7 in the morning and 20 Celsius in the afternoon. So an even greater temperature fluctuation between day and night in some of the private weather network. So yeah, quite an interesting setup, even though we've got little in the way of weather to speak about in terms of wind and rain and whatnot. There is still always interesting factors to consider. So if we look at the rainfall over the last 24 to 72 hours, wet conditions remain far north, southwest and southeast of the continent here. Basically a triangle with a very dry centre, and that has been the case for some time. So obviously if you look at the visible satellite imagery, you can see the massive cloud over Iberia, the Balkans, Turkey, separate areas of low pressure here. And obviously where you've got the clear skies, high pressure remains the dominant player. So with those associated with those areas of low pressure, we've got lots of lightning. This is a live lightning tracker here showing quite a lot of lightning coverage over Spain at the moment here associated with that area of low pressure. Then as you go over towards Turkey, we have equally got quite a lot of lightning activity over the southeast of the continent as well. In terms of the temperatures then, this is how Europe is looking at this point in Friday evening. And let's have a quick look and see what the temperatures are showing real quick. So the coolest conditions, the far north of Europe, largely mild across the majority, with a little bit below average across Spain and Portugal, thanks to the presence of that low pressure. Also a little bit below average down across the Balkans and Turkey. We've also got some mild conditions across the central region, extending into the southern UK. Cooler with an east-northeasterly wind blowing here. So a bit of a contrast actually, north and south and east and west across the UK at this hour. Temperatures in central portions of Algeria into the middle 30s. We're going to continue to see these temperatures rise as we move through the month of April, as the subtropical high continues to gradually lift its way northwards. So looking at the current temperatures for the UK, and we've got only 8s and 9s quite widely now across central and eastern Scotland. The warmest temperatures being in the west. As those winds blow in from a northeasterly direction, you're feeling the effects of that cool North Sea. Those winds then start to dry, warm up, and a lack of cloud cover in the west, with the help of a little bit of Föhn effect as well. You then see the temperatures warmest. Oban Airport, for example, sitting at 17 Celsius at the moment here. So big contrast between 8 at Aberdeen Dice, 17 at Oban, and even at Tain, where the temperatures have been reasonably warm in the last few days, pegged back at 8.4 with a wind chill of 4.4. In fact, let's have a quick look at the wind chills and see what they're looking like. So yeah, feeling like 3 and 4 Celsius in that breeze coming in off the chilly 7-8 Celsius waters of the North Sea, even along down into the Scottish borders here, wind chills of 4 and 5 respectively. If you then look at the temperatures further south over the UK, we're generally talking about the 22 Celsius. Probably wouldn't be surprised if we squeeze out a 23 somewhere in the southeast this afternoon. And then as you move into the near continent, we've got the temperatures pushing the mid-20s in a few spots. In terms of rainfall then over the next 7 days, you can see here that we are remaining drier than average. Play through the GFS ensemble, remains drier than average. Again, picking up on a wet signal across Spain and Portugal here. So we're going to continue with this high pressure to the north, low pressure then getting forced to the south. And we're going to see this wetter than average signal continue on from where March left off. So all the way out to the 20th, still lose a little bit of the drier than average signal, but nevertheless, it's still indicating average to below average rainfall out to the period between the 13th and the 20th of April. Let's scoot back then and look at the 500 millibar heights. Upcoming 7 days here is looking like this. So we've got that blocking area of high pressure. We've got a trough drilling colder air into Central and Eastern Europe here. And that is the current look. So we've got the strongest heights actually to the north, but it's basically blocking any weather from moving into the UK and into Ireland here. There's that trough in the east. So if you look at the temperature anomalies here for the next 5 days, we've got below average in the east, warmer than average in the west. And then if we go back to the 500s, you can see here, if we play through this loop, that area of high pressure remains pretty set in stone right the way through till the middle portions of the month. Remember I said to you, if you look at the profile of the stratosphere and the troposphere, we've got this easterly component. This was mentioned in Aidan McGivern's deep dive. I do encourage you to check that out if you haven't already watched it. It's a really good watch. Interesting stuff that he shares in that video. But he mentions about the easterly component into the lower portions of the strat, into the trope. There is a little bit of a reversal back to something possibly more westerly in the medium range period, but then he mentions the fact that the high pressure looks as if it's going to come back in during the second half of April. So there may be a little bit of a blip in between, and you can see here as we move towards the 12th through the 17th of April, we're losing that strong high, and there may be something a little bit more low pressure dominating, and then the high kind of tries to regenerate once again towards the 15th and the 20th. So there's a period here towards the middle of the month where we kind of lose that high, and then it comes back into play once again. That's quite interesting to see. So let's have a quick look at the temperature anomalies through the period, and you can see here that we play through. We increase the level of cold with that high kind of building a little bit further north. We've got the colder air, Arctic brand air coming into Central and Eastern Europe here. So this is going to be a shock to the system for folks here. All the while we've got a warm west, cold east scenario, and I don't really see anything significantly colder than average. In fact, we have the possibility of seeing some substantial warmth getting lifted northwards, I think, over the next couple of weeks or so. We'll monitor that going forward. So that's it for today. Short and sweet as always. Still plenty of things going on at the moment here on a personal note. So I do intend to have a live stream this upcoming Sunday, by the way. It will be at 7 p.m, all being well, for about 30 to 40 minutes roughly. So there should be a live stream this upcoming Sunday. There will be no video tomorrow. I'm going to be taking tomorrow off. Hopefully get out and do a little bit more garden work and some relaxation as well, which I think is needed. It's been a busy old week, it has to be said. But yes, plenty of reason to stick around here in the channel. I'm going to be talking about the hurricane season. Also going to be talking about the summer season as well next week. So I hope you can join me for that and stay tuned, and hopefully see you around 7 p.m. this upcoming Sunday for the live stream. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Enjoy the weekend coming up.